The Walt Disney Company, DIS, is in prime position to win the bidding war for the majority of 21st Century Fox Inc.'s FOXA, Fox assets hopefully over the next few weeks. With some general knowledge of the players, we can set up the most likely scenarios and predict their outcomes to best lay bets on outcomes of an additional potential bidding war. Regardless of whether Disney ultimately wins the bid for Fox or not, a lot of the uncertainty and fear surrounding losing or overpaying for Fox should go away, freeing Disney up to trade more on its fundamentals and future prospects instead of the overhanging fight for Fox's assets. Here's a quick synopsis of the general bids for the majority of Fox's assets by Disney and Comcast Corporation, CMCSA. The bids by Disney and Comcast do not include the most likely spin-off components of the deal, including assets like Fox's regional sports networks and Fox News to shareholders as new Fox shares, which we can hypothetically value at $10 a share and are reflected in the current value of Fox's shares. Date: Disney bid. Comcast bid value of FOXA December 14, $1752.4 billion, $34.88. June 13, $1865 billion, $43.66. June 20, $1871.3 billion, $48.08. Table by Trent Welsh. The first bid came in December of 2017 and is when I decided to sell my shares of Disney to purchase shares of Fox, due to the all-share deal hopefully giving me back Disney shares again along with shares of new Fox. Comcast had originally been bidding with Disney in this initial round, with an all-share deal as well that was reported to be even higher than Disney's, which failed to entice Fox's management. The main reasons for this include Rupert Murdoch's seeming preference for Disney's shares over Comcast shares in the coming years, along with additional potential regulatory concerns in a Comcast deal. Since then, the deal structures have changed dramatically, with Comcast making its next $65 billion bid all in cash after the regulatory landscape cleared, following at TWX. Disney, however, responded so quickly with an amended cash-and-share agreement with Fox that Fox's board did not even have time to officially review Comcast's $65 billion offer and respond to it. Now, Comcast is exploring new financing options, including potentially bringing in a partner or two if the bidding manages to hit $90 billion or more, as well as Disney agreeing to double its asset divestitures and securing a DOJ approval for a potential Fox deal. With Disney having superior tax value seen in its shares, a recent major regulatory win, and the full attention of Fox's board with a currently superior bid, Comcast needs to act fast and decisively if it wants to really get the attention of Fox's management and Rupert Murdoch. This means a new proposal by Comcast coming right before or after the upcoming July 4th holiday, potentially with the following scenarios and probabilities possibly occurring in my opinion. Scenario 1. Disney wins $71.3 billion bid. Likelihood 10%. In this scenario, Comcast decides that the financing and regulatory hurdles are too high to pursue any additional bids for the majority of Fox's assets, especially when they can't seem to get Fox's board of directors interested in considering any of their bids as superior. Comcast could declare victory in getting Disney to pay considerably more for the Fox deal, and could move on to another M. This scenario seems unlikely at this time, with Comcast exploring scenarios valuing Fox's assets at $90 billion or more, along with TCI Fund Management's 7.4% owner of Fox shares' latest push against Rupert Murdoch to give Comcast a chance for proposing and arguing its case for a superior bid. Scenario 2. Comcast bids till the $75 billion, $80 billion, then Disney counters or matches at $80 billion and wins. Likelihood 40%. In this scenario, Comcast comes back with a small to medium raise on Disney's previous offer, around $4 billion, $8 billion, approximately 5% to 11% more than Disney's latest bid. This step is a logical next step for Comcast, although I don't think it will do much to change Fox's mind on Comcast as a potential winner in the bidding war. With $80 billion a hypothetical break-even deal point for both Disney and Comcast, where higher bids might be seen as an overpayment, I think Disney would have no problem quickly matching or exceeding Comcast's bid at this point, with the objective to continue to keep Fox's management from taking any of Comcast's bids seriously. If Comcast is placed in this situation, I see it having a tougher time making another raise at this time. Its stock has already had a horrible year so far, and continuing to slowly bid up the price of Fox, with Disney quickly matching, could easily put additional pressure on Comcast's shares, potentially resulting in shareholder pushbacks. CMCSA data by Y charts. In this scenario, I again see Disney ultimately winning the Fox deal, after paying a pretty penny, but still getting what might be a once-in-a-generation media asset that might pay off handily over time. Scenario 3, Comcast bids till the $75 billion, then Disney counters at $80 billion. Then Comcast counters at $85 billion, and Disney matches at $85 billion and wins. Or Comcast's next bid goes directly to $85 billion, where Disney matches and wins. Likelihood 25% in this scenario, Comcast either re-raises an earlier $75 billion, $80 billion bid with another small to medium raise, or makes a big move over Disney's current $71.3 billion with a opening almost 20% raise directly to $85 billion. Small beats and raises at this point should not get a deal done in my mind, as Disney will be in a great position to easily match or raise Comcast's offers. However, if it moves from Disney's $71.3 billion offer up to $85 billion, that will open many eyes and definitely get the board of Fox more interested in actually evaluating a Comcast offer for superiority. However, even at this price point, I believe that Disney would be able to match Comcast's offer with a stock and cash deal that Fox would prefer. Scenario 4, Comcast and Disney slow bid for a few weeks, and finally Comcast bids $90 billion and Disney counters at $90 billion and wins. Likelihood 15%. Now we are getting into the almost ridiculous realm, which is becoming more and more probable the more we hear about financing and partnerships that Comcast especially is working on. Making small and medium raises to this price point by Comcast will get a lot of media attention, but might not secure Fox's assets for Comcast, as Disney has overpaid for quality media assets in the past, which have worked out marvelously. Think of Disney's purchases of Pixar at $7.4 billion and Lucasfilm at $4 billion for instance. Although these both are a far cry from the $70 billion Disney is looking at spending for Fox. Walking the bid up this high for Comcast ultimately looks like a losing deal for Comcast, as Fox might never take Comcast seriously if it can't make Disney pause and think long enough for it to consider Comcast's bid at length for superiority. Scenario 5, Comcast bids $90 billion, Disney is stunned and folds. Likelihood 10%. This could be the stake in the heart for Disney's ambitions on owning the majority of Fox's assets. A hugely surprising $90 billion bid will be a full approximately 26% premium to Disney's current offer, and would shock and awe the market as well as Fox's board. Not only would Fox have to take the time to fully consider Comcast's offer, as Disney would most likely not be ready for an immediate counter-offer, the price would be a significant premium to the break-even $80 billion offers that seem to be what the market is currently thinking the top of Disney's and Comcast's offers should be at. However, with Disney seeming to hold all the cards with its preferred shares, regulatory okay from the DOJ, along with Rupert Murdoch's blessing, an action like this might be what Comcast has to resort to if it ultimately wants to win the Fox deal. A shock and awe campaign that Disney would be seen as crazy to try and compete with. Endgame: Comcast wins the Fox deal. I, of course, give this option a low probability, but an argument can be made for it, especially as Comcast has been reported seeking partners for just such a $90 billion potential bid. With Disney and Fox both setting up separate shareholder meetings to vote on a potential deal approval scheduled for July 27, 2018, Comcast doesn't have time to play games if it does in fact want to ultimately win the Fox deal. An argument can also easily be made that Comcast simply wants to bid up Disney, so that Disney overpays for Fox, which might very well happen. However, if Comcast wants to ultimately win the deal, I think it has to be far more aggressive going forward than it has been so far, leading to some potential jackpot scenarios for Fox shareholders. Regardless of who ultimately wins the Fox deal, Disney looks to be in a great position for a rebound in stock price, as it most likely will win most of Fox's assets, or will force Comcast to pay an almost ridiculous price for them. Even if Disney overpays for Fox, it won't be a first, as it has done so for assets it has really wanted in the past, which far more often than not work out for Disney in long run. I think Disney is a potential fine buy now, for a long-term holder, especially as its share value fluctuates in the coming weeks over Fox uncertainty. All of these scenarios are speculation at best, with one result potentially being close to the end result, but where there is smoke, there often is fire, and an investor would be hard-pressed to argue that both Disney and Comcast don't desperately want the Fox deal, and that both don't have the ability to pay up considerably for the assets. Best of luck to all. Disclosure: we are long Fox. I wrote this article myself, and it expresses my own opinions. I am not receiving compensation for it, other than from seeking alpha. I have no business relationship with any company whose stock is mentioned in this article.